Ladies, brace yourselves. Turning 80 isn't just another birthday. It's a biological milestone that changes more than you think. As a doctor, I've seen what really happens behind closed doors in hospital rooms and in homes across the country. Whether you want to hear it or not, these 5 things will happen when you cross that threshold. So stay with me, because the 5th one is the one most women deny until it's too late. Backhand index pointing, right? Tap like button if you want real talk about aging, and comment below with your age and what you think has changed the most. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss what others won't tell you. 1. Your immune system becomes shockingly fragile. Let me be brutally honest with you. By the time a woman reaches 80, her immune system is no longer the protective powerhouse it once was. We often imagine the immune system like an army trained to defend against invaders like bacteria, viruses, even certain cancers. But what if I told you that by 80 many of those soldiers are either retired or working at half capacity? This condition is called immunosiness, and it's the scientific term for how the immune system weakens as we age. It affects both the innate immune system, your body's first line of defense, and the adaptive immune system, which is supposed to remember and target specific pathogens. At 80, this decline accelerates. Your body's ability to detect new infections slows down dramatically. The production of white blood cells becomes less efficient, and even when they're produced, they don't respond with the same energy or accuracy. Imagine calling for backup during a break-in, but the responders are confused, half asleep, and show up 2 hours late. This is why illnesses that seem minor in younger people, a simple chest infection, a touch of pneumonia, even food poisoning, can become life-threatening after 80. It's also why healing from surgery takes longer, wounds close more slowly, and even minor injuries can turn into major setbacks. And here's something most people don't realize. The symptoms of infection in older adults often look nothing like they do in younger ones. Fever might be absent. Pain might be dulled. Instead, you might feel confused, sleepy, or suddenly weak. That's your immune system whispering instead of screaming. But the biggest issue, most people ignore these whispers until it's too late. So, what can you do? Support your immune system aggressively. Keep up with age-appropriate vaccines. Yes, even the shingles and pneumonia ones. Eat protein-rich foods with zinc and vitamin C. Prioritize gut health, because a huge portion of your immune system lives in your gut. And never ignore subtle signs like sudden fatigue or confusion. It might be your body's way of saying, I need help now. 2. Muscle-wasting sarcopenia picks up speed. You've likely heard about muscle loss as you age. But what you may not know is that after 80, this loss isn't slow and gradual anymore. It accelerates like a runaway train. This condition is called sarcopenia, and it's far more than just feeling a bit weaker. After 80, if left unchecked, it turns into something far more dangerous, a direct threat to your mobility, independence, and even survival. Here's what happens. By 30, we naturally begin losing muscle mass about 3 to 5% per decade. But by 80, unless you're actively fighting it, that loss may total up to 30 to 50% of your total muscle mass. That's not just about losing strength to open jars or carry groceries. It means you can no longer stabilize yourself when stepping off a curb. Getting off the toilet without help becomes difficult. A minor stumble becomes a devastating fall and possibly a fractured hip. And sadly, once you've had a serious fall at this age, the spiral downward is hard to stop. Hospitalization leads to bed rest. Bed rest causes even faster muscle wasting. Then comes rehab, which may be underfunded, rushed, or ineffective. Before long, a previously active woman is being told she needs full-time care, all because of muscle loss. But here's the hope. Sarcopenia is not inevitable. It's not something you're doomed to suffer through if you're proactive. Research shows that even women in their 80s and 90s can gain muscle, through strength training. I've personally seen women pick up dumbbells for the first time in their 80s and literally walk out of a mobility aid months later. The keys are protein intake. You need more than you think, ideally 1 to 1.2 g per kilogram of body weight daily. Resistance training. This doesn't mean becoming a bodybuilder. Even simple chair squats, resistance bands, or light weights done consistently can signal your body to hold on to muscle. Vitamin D is crucial for muscle and bone support, especially if you spend limited time in the sun. Let's put it this way. Aging will try to steal your strength. You must steal it back. 3. You become invisible, even to doctors. This one may be the hardest to talk about, but I need to. Once you turn 80, you may notice something deeply unsettling. You begin to disappear in the eyes of the world. And heartbreakingly, this includes in doctors' offices and hospitals, where your visibility should be highest. It starts subtly. A nurse talks to your daughter instead of you, even though you're sitting right there. A doctor uses vague language, like at your age, to explain why they're skipping a test or delaying a treatment. You might express a concern only to be told, well, you are 80. This is medical ageism, and it is very, very real. In my time as a doctor, I've had to push back against this culture, even among my colleagues, because here's the sad truth. Many healthcare systems are designed for efficiency, not advocacy. And when time is tight, age becomes a shortcut. Instead of evaluating each woman as a unique individual, many professionals rely on assumptions. She probably wouldn't tolerate surgery. Well, she won't want aggressive treatment anyway. She's 80. What do you expect? These assumptions rob women of choices, of dignity, of their voice. And when you stop being seen, you stop getting quality care. That's why it's critical, yes, critical, that you or your advocate take a stand. Ask questions. Demand specifics. Don't let anyone dismiss your symptoms as normal aging without a clear explanation. Say, what tests would you order if I were 60? What are my treatment options? Aggressive and conservative. How many patients my age have you treated for this? And if you feel dismissed or patronized, you have every right to switch doctors. The best providers listen first before deciding what's appropriate. You are not just your age. You are a woman with a history, a future, and the right to be taken seriously, especially at 80. 4. Mental sharpness depends heavily on one thing. Many people believe that once a woman turns 80, her mind just slips, that memory lapses are inevitable, confusion is normal, and that sharpness is something only the young possess. Let me set the record straight. Cognitive decline is not inevitable. Yes, the brain does change with age. It's true that the processing speed, how fast you absorb and respond to information, tends to slow. Your recall might not be as instant, and multitasking becomes more taxing. But these changes do not mean you're losing your intelligence. They do not mean dementia is around the corner. Here's what's actually happening inside your brain. The volume of the brain, especially in the prefrontal cortex and hippocampus, critical for decision-making and memory, shrinks with age. Blood flow may decrease. Neuron connections might decline in efficiency, but not in number if you're actively using your mind. And that's the key word, active. The biggest mistake I see women make after 80 is mentally retiring. They stop reading challenging material. They rely on routine. They reduce their social life. They spend long stretches of the day alone, watching television, doing passive tasks. This inactivity starves the brain. But there's a beautiful flip side. The brains of women who stay curious, who stay connected, and who keep learning, remain resilient, even when imaging scans show signs of age-related change. It's called cognitive reserve. Think of it like a backup generator. If one part of your brain slows down, another steps in to help, but only if you've built those reserves through activity, connection, and challenge. What helps most after 80? Social interaction. Isolation accelerates mental decline. Seniors who are isolated have double the risk of cognitive loss. Talking, laughing, debating, even just being around people stimulates multiple parts of your brain. Novelty helps. Try new activities. Take up painting, chess, learning a language, or writing your memoirs. The brain craves newness. Movement helps too. Physical activity literally grows brain cells. Regular walking increases the size of the hippocampus. Nutrition is vital. Omega-3s, B vitamins, and hydration all support memory and focus. Here's a fact most people don't know. Women over 80 who stay mentally active have a significantly lower risk of developing Alzheimer's, even if they carry the genes for it. Your choices now are more powerful than your biology. So, if you've noticed your mind slowing down, don't retreat. That's when decline wins. Instead, lean in. Challenge yourself. Engage your brain daily, because at 80, it's use it or lose it. 5. Your world shrinks unless you fight to keep it open. This is perhaps the most emotional reality I have to share, and it's one I've witnessed more times than I can count. When women turn 80, something begins to shift. Not in the body, but in the world around them. Their world begins to shrink. It starts gradually. A close friend passes away. You stop driving at night, then stop driving altogether. The weekly social group disbands because too many members fall ill. Family visits get more spaced out. Your children are busy. Your grandchildren live far away. And suddenly home becomes your whole world. The problem is that this shrinking of your environment doesn't just limit your schedule, it limits your life force. We are not designed to live small lives. We are wired for stimulation, connection, and purpose. When a woman's world becomes limited to the walls of her home, her spark dims. She may not even notice it at first, but soon her days begin to blur. Her energy drops. Her motivation to dress up, go out, or even engage disappears. Depression creeps in, often unnoticed and undiagnosed. And make no mistake, depression in seniors can mimic dementia. It causes forgetfulness, confusion, fatigue, and disinterest. I've had patients misdiagnosed with cognitive decline, when in reality, they were simply emotionally starved. But here's what I tell every woman at this stage. You have to fight to keep your world wide open. You must intentionally add color, variety, and social richness to your life. It won't come naturally after 80. You have to choose it. Join a new group or club, even if you feel nervous at first. Volunteer, whether it's reading to children, helping at a library, or writing letters to others who are isolated. Learn something new, a musical instrument, a craft, even how to use social media safely. Travel, even if it's just one town over. Fresh environments wake up the brain. Connect with others. FaceTime your grandkids. Start a group text with your friends. Ask for rides. Accept help. And women who actively resist the shrinking of their world, who say yes more than they say no, live longer, laugh louder, and stay themselves longer. Because here's the brutal truth. If you don't fight to keep the world open, it will quietly close the door on you. But if you do fight, that door stays open, and so does your spirit.